We always have a terminal close by. Would it be in VS Code, in New Vim, in Writer, in Sublime, in Cursor, or because you're in the terminal, right? And what if we could ask a question right away? No UI, no anything, just question mark, your question, and boom, you got the answer. That would be great, right? And that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, what if we could do that? And thinking how we do query to an AI provider these days, they're all very similar. So let me show you. So here an example where we can query Reka AI or Ollama if it's running locally, and it will be the same for OpenAI and all the others. Or just calling a URL. Sometimes we need a key because it's a service, it's hosted somewhere, or if it's local, you don't have a key. And then it's a message, you specify your question, your model, and stuff like that. It's always the same. So I thought it would be interesting if we could do a shell script that do that for us, parse the answer, and return it straight into the console. No GUID, anything, just pure stuff. So I did it just for fun, and I want to share it with you because you could use it as is or customize it. So I name it Reka Terminal Tools. It's built to use Reka AI, but you could customize it very simply. As I show you, it's very simple to, if you're working offline, to call Ollama to stay offline and not waiting for internet, and you could use it. So how it works, you could clone the repository, and with that, you will land with those files here. So let's have a look at how those files work. So we'll just open it in VS Code. Voila. Let's close this one. We don't need it anymore. So and let's make it bigger. Voila. So in this folder, you have Reka chat. Let's focus on that one for now. And what it does, it's really, I'm putting the API key in a home config repository. You could, to avoid having it straight into the code, you could use secrets if you prefer. You could customize it, as I said. And then the endpoint, I put it there. So if you want to change it for yours or run it locally, you can again put localhost with the Ollama part if you want. After that, it's purely laziness, I would say, or practicality. Is it a word in English? Make it easy. When you ask your question, I really want to have question mark and then my answer, but I didn't want to have the quotes. So what I do here is I take all the parameters that follow and put them in one. If you use the quote, then it's only one parameter and it still work. So this way you could ask your question without any parameter. So just like that, it will work. So you could use what if, what's 32 in Fahrenheit, or you could write it with a quote. And then I check for the API. If it's there, obviously I put nice error message because, we want to make sure it works, since I'm hoping others will also use this tool. And after that, that's the part that interests the most. That's exactly the code snippet I show you at the beginning of the video. Just, put it so I could inject the API key in my query, my question. And then I use here JQ for parsing, making some queries into the JSON that is returned. I will show you that in a second. And then what I do here to really display the answer is just I do that, and because I'm running with Reka, I need to go into response, the message, and then content. And if you don't know, what you could do here is just echo the answer. Let's put it that way. Do something like this, and then, I don't know, whoops, like this. So you will output the response into a JSON document, and then have a look in that JSON. So you make your query that fits whatever JSON is returned for you. Maybe it's different. I know for Ollama, it's very similar, but you need to change that query. So you adapt that query, and if for some reason it's not working, or I don't know, there was a typo in the URL, so like it couldn't reach it, it will show an error message. And that's it. That's just how it works. So now if we go back into the terminal, let's close this one. Now open the terminal. Let's make it bigger. So now I can just say, hey, how do I manage null in Python? And just like that, I will have my answer. Very complete answer with like a bunch of different feedback, so I could use it right away. And as an extra, I also add another file. If we look here, there's Reka research and there's Reka aliases. So let me show you again. So let's reopen VS Code. And we don't need you anymore. So Reka research is really cool because then if you double your question mark and ask a question, it will go online, search in online, like doing a web research. Obviously take more time, but it's more up to date. A model wouldn't know if your favorite sport team win the match 2 days ago, but if you look using the web research that Reka support, you could do that and ask question. So it will do that for you. For the aliases, I create a file just to make it easier for you, but you don't need to use it if you know your way around the bash CR and ZSH CR. You could go there and add it. But if you don't and you just want to make it easy for you, you could, use that script. And what it does, it really just adding a question mark. Oh, that's for the double. So it's adding an alias with a question mark. And the reason why there's here a double backslash between the interrogation point is because interrogation point is a special character, so it needs to be escaped. Voila. And with that, you should definitely have a look. It's all in GitHub repo. Suggestion are open. So what else could we do? So with that, I hope you like that little trick that I share with you. Go there, clone it, customize it, make PRs, open issue if you want, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.